it's a good news, bad news scenario, right? So the good news is I do think we are getting a lot closer to a generational bottom. The bad news is it might not be until Bitcoin hits 10 grand. And by the way, the catalyst for it is going to be inflation expectations picking up and every central bank in the world making a policy error. So that's not a world I'm all that excited about living in. But you know what? Here I am. And I think if you get those three combos, a final flush out of all this leverage in Bitcoin down to 10, 15K, somewhere around that, and inflation expectations picking up, which I think come in the next quarter or so, and we already know every central bank has already made a policy mistake and likely to continue to do more, that is the perfect scenario for a bottom in Bitcoin. So now you have it, we just gotta wait.
Bitcoin market expert Brian Kelly says that there's good news and bad news. The good news is that Bitcoin is close to a generational buying opportunity. The bad news is that even though we've seen so much sell pressure from the likes of Luna, from the likes of Celsius, BlockFi, Three Arrow Capital, etc., we still need a greater final flush of leverage that could take us as low as a 10K Bitcoin. And then, for a catalyst to send us back up to all-time highs, we need 1, inflation expectations picking up, combined with 2, central banks screwing up. What do you think about Brian Kelly's analysis? Bitcoin at 10K. Is his reasoning sound? Comment your thoughts below. We'll all be reading and learning together. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for daily videos on everything going on in the cryptocurrency markets. You subscribe to stay informed. Now, Brian Kelly says that the biggest crash is still months away. The greatest leverage still needs to be flushed out. In this next clip, he expands on this thesis, says a Lehman Brothers moment is still months away.
Are we at a Lehman moment for this industry in terms of leverage, or are we months away from that?
Oh, so months away. We're probably months away from the Lehman moment, and meaning, that kind of one last flush down, somebody big goes bankrupt that you never expected. We're probably months away from that because we just don't know. There's still a lot of leverage, collateral pledged against collateral elsewhere. It is a great financial crisis for the crypto world. We built that, the Wall Street 2.0. And it didn't work again, shocker. And so we got to flush that out.
Wow. Do you think Brian Kelly's right? And the final leverage flush, the Lehman Brothers moment, that final catalyst that takes Bitcoin down to 10K is still months away? Listen, let's be real. That is possible. It is possible that Bitcoin could fall down to 10K. But let me push back on this just a little bit. Let me push back on that argument. Because the amount of unnatural sell pressure that we have seen on Bitcoin and Ethereum these past few months have been huge. It all started with Luna, and then Celsius, and then BlockFi, and then Three Arrows Capital, not to mention the countless others in the space that are more private, less public, and not name brands. I think there's an argument to be made that although we could see more leverage unwinding, the worst might be behind us. Do you realize how much unnatural sell pressure we've already seen? Do you realize the extent? Let's take Three Arrow Capital only, because they didn't just lose their own money. They lost tons of other people's money, tons of other entities' money that they borrowed. And then they had to sell all of their Bitcoin and all of their Ethereum on the open market to cover. And so put that together, that's a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum that is sell pressure on the open market. See, this clip explains it perfectly. It's from the chopping block on Laura Shin's Unchained podcast on her YouTube channel. This clip explains why market conditions are what they are, what exactly happened with, let's just take Three Arrow Capital, and why we've seen unnatural, horrible market conditions. Listen to this.
And I want to make this clear because I think a lot of people don't understand why the Three Arrows story is so bad. Normally, if you go make a big trade and you lose a bunch of your own money, it's fine. it's not a big deal, right? Funds go to zero all the time. If you went to zero, somebody else made the money, two people bet against each other. That's how markets work, right? But Three Arrows was borrowing tons of money from other people. And they were also not telling their counterparties exactly how much leverage they were taking on and exactly who they were borrowing from. And so it turned out they borrowed so much of other people's money that they lost so much money that they went into negative equity, meaning that they owed more money than they had. And that is really bad. That is way worse than going to zero, because when you go negative, that means that now your losses are on someone else's balance sheet. Somebody else is absorbing the loss that you took by gambling like crazy. And the people who are absorbing those losses are basically the crypto lenders, or you can sort of think of the lenders as the crypto banks. These are people who are basically involved in the act of money creation. And so some of their big lenders include BlockFi, Genesis, Voyager. Is Celsius also a lender to Three Arrows?
Highly likely.
Okay, yes, highly likely. And so it turns out that a lot of the money in crypto, a lot of the lenders in crypto were extending credit to Three Arrows, and this credit was under collateralized. And so now they're massively in the hole. So when the banks lose money, this is extremely bad, because this now means that the banks need to control their risk. And the way they control their risk is they now realize they're down a ton. They need to start recalling their loans to other people because they don't know who else got hurt. They don't know who else is down. So they start recalling loans everywhere. A bunch of people suddenly start getting margin called. And these people are getting margin called. They might not have the cash on hand. So they need to start selling some assets in order to meet the margin call or to go repay the loan. And in this situation, you get a bunch of people selling at the same time. And not only that, but liquidity is worse because the market makers who are managing the liquidity and keeping markets liquid, they're also getting their loans recalled. They also have less money, so they can't keep markets liquid. And the end result is just a meltdown. And so that's what we saw over the last couple of weeks. We saw this massive fear around exactly how bad was Three Arrows in negative, how much money did the banks lose, how much of these loans are getting recalled, and how long is the selling going to take. And that's caused an absolute wreckage in the crypto markets, where at times we actually saw Bitcoin and Ether sell off more than the alts, which is extremely rare. And that's a sign basically that what's happening is forced. It's not people have lost confidence in Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's that something really bad has happened in the market and now you have forced selling.
It is possible that a generational buying opportunity, a Lehman Brothers moment, a final flush of leverage could come in the next couple months. I think either way, either the bottom's already in or the bottom will come in the next couple months. And it's possible if it's a giant wick down on leverage, it could be a generational buying opportunity. Now, if you're thinking like that you want to buy for generational opportunity, where Bitcoin is today at 19,000 ain't too bad to buy, in my personal opinion. And if any of us could predict the future, we'd all be rich. We keep you informed on a daily basis, guys. Subscribe to the channel, join our team, post a video every day. Appreciate you being here with us, trying to figure this market out together, right? We give you the information, you make your own decisions. If you believe in the space, there are great buying opportunities today and will be throughout this whole year, I believe. You tell me what you think.